Hello and welcome to Black Minds News. I'm your host, Mr. Blows Your Minds. Today's date is August 6th, 2019. Black Minds News is to report, articulate, transmit, communicate, relate, unveil, decode, spread the news, whether it's by video, websites, or quotes from publications. As I, your whiteologist, articulate these information, I ask that the creator of the universe be here, heart, soul, mind, and spirit. Because why? The truth don't need no partner. As a descendant of the greatest people who created this land that you call the United States, we, the foundational Black Americans of this land, historical tie bloodlines, we who call ourselves BADOS, Black American descendant of slaves. Some say Black African descendant of slaves. Others say ADOS, American descendant of slaves. We, the genealogy, descendant, and lineage of those, we give honor to our ancestors. You know what my motto of this show is? I'm never going to tell you what I heard. I'm only going to tell you what I know. Well, I'm going to go up to Texas or down to Texas. Did you hear the story? Blackman was led down the street by Texas cops on horseback, roped in front of the whole entire community. Let me say that again. A black man was led by two horseback riding cops, roped, trailing him through the community. Yes, it is 2019. Oh, you thought things changed. You thought that this here was something different than what your ancestors went through. Well, let's find out through this story here. Stay tuned for this broadcast. Hey, how's y'all doing? Again, this is your host, Mr. Blows Your Minds, and welcome to Black Minds News. First and foremost, I want to say what's good to my subscribers and fans, old and new subscribers. What's good, fam? Glad you could stop by, check out what's going on over here. First and foremost, Black Minds News, we always want to we want to give thanks to those who participate to try to get this show, as again is the most hated show on the black corner of the internet, trying to get us up out of this corner. We've been over here, been in business for 7 years, but according to the way you see these numbers, you couldn't tell, right? Because you don't know the history. So again, thank you for your participation, your subscribership. Passerbys, if you should just happen to pass by, getting your GPS on your search engine somehow threw you over here and you seen the thumbnail and you clicked on it, welcome to the most hated show in the black corner of the internet. We and our family welcome you over here. You could go down the aisle. We always got a grand opening over here. Go down there, see something you might like. If you should happen to see something that makes you feel some kind of way, remember that the motto of the show is the truth don't need no partner. Welcome over here. Now let's get into this. Now, I'm going to go ahead and give you the article on that. This is going to be a Black Minds TV News report. So check it out. Hold on. It's going to be my new little logo when I start doing this, right? So check this out, right? And this is what it says in this article here, right? All right, so it says cops on horseback leads man down the street, right, by rope. Says chief apologizes after horseback officers lead man by rope. Okay? This story was actually done August the 5th, 2019. It's coming out of Galveston, Texas. Galveston police chief is apologizing after two of his officers mounted on horseback led a handcuffed trespassing suspect by rope through downtown streets. Photos of the Saturday, but it's supposed to be Monday incident, went viral on social media. The two officers linked the rope to handcuffs worn by a 43-year-old criminal trespass suspect, Donald Neely, and led him around the block to a mounted patrol staging area. In a statement Monday, Police Chief Vernon Hale said this is a trained technique and best practice in some scenarios, such as with crowd control. However, he said he believes his officers showed poor judgment in this instance and could have waited for a transport unit at the location of arrest. He said his department has immediately changed the policy to prevent use of the technique. Neely is free on bond. He has no listed telephone number and couldn't be reached for comment. And that's coming out of the article there, right? Now, what I'm going to give you here is, you know what we do. We're going to give you the story breaking that was on. So check this out, and we should be right back.
All right, police in Galveston, Texas are apologizing after photos depicting a controversial arrest technique ignited outrage in the community. Check out these images that show horse-mounted police officers, who are both white, leading a handcuffed black man down the street using what appears to be a rope. Many on social media called the scene, quote, disgusting and degrading. In a statement yesterday, the Galveston Police Department said this trained technique is considered a best practice in certain scenarios. But the police chief said the officers showed poor judgment in this instance. He said the department has changed its policy to prevent the use of this method. They also apologized for causing the man, quote, unnecessary embarrassment.
Yes.
I don't understand.
Humiliation might be a better word, yeah.
Yeah, they say it's a best practice, but now they're saying they're getting rid of it.
Right.
So,
In what cases, and you cannot wait for a patrol car to get there?
Well, the imagery of that,
Yeah,
I
it's
just
just
think
horrendous.
historically that's
It's just
ridiculous.
such bad judgment.
context matters.
Yes.
Okay, so again, as we see this in Galveston, Texas, and let me give you the image of that because I do have that, right? Let's see. I'll give you this image of this right quick. So what you see here is a 43-year-old man named Donald Neely, who has been arrested for, say, criminal trespassing, right? Criminal trespassing, right? And so accordingly, I guess the officers who arrived on the scene came on horseback, right? And apprehended Mr. Neely. Criminal trespassing could be a lot of things, especially in this day and age when, according to you, if you are an avid watcher of Black MINDZ News, we report a lot of the local news situations where there's discrimination and racial incidences. And trespassing can be you black in a particular place, like the one, remember everybody who's seen the story about the barbershop, right? The brother that went in, had left he said his granny house, right? And went on the side to go into a barbershop that he had never been into. And this is a chain barbershop, right? It got about 129 different locations out the country. Primarily, when you look at it, you can see it don't reflect yourself. So I don't know, again, you know, when you're brand new today, you think that everything is good and you go in there. I know barbershop kind of introduced, having the white cat in there, and then end up he cutting hair, and then he told Blase Skippy, right? He said, I'm more blacker than you on your best day. Remember that, right? So I guess the comfortability of that, allowing people that don't look like you cutting on your hair. And again, this doesn't mean that people could be professional and not know how to cut your hair. But again, if I ain't never been there, don't got nobody to give no kind of rapport about what kind of business and how kind of hair y'all do, I ain't finna just walk up in there and let you be touching my head again. You're gonna be walking up out there looking like the Gap Band in your shit, right? So he ended up being, police called on him because they said he was criminally trespassing, yet he was coming in there trying to be a patron to the store. So again, more information probably needs to come out as to the criminal trespassing, because again, that's kind of vague. When you say that, that could be somebody who, again, didn't want him patronizing in their place of business due to the simple fact he was just black. But they left that part out. But what you do see is you see the two sheriffs on horseback leading Mr. Neely downtown through the streets. Now, again, what makes me believe that what I'm saying has merit is the simple fact that, what did I just say? Downtown. Right? They didn't say he in there for robbing, stealing. They said trespassing. Trespassing could be just on, whoever's in the establishment, how they interpret the situation. We done seen a fully dressed sheriff in the IRS and be called police, and no one never acknowledged the fact that he was a sheriff. Right? So again, that's kind of questionable as to what was Mr. Donald Neely arrested for, but that's here or there. But the point is, we do see that, again, it's ironic that instead of somebody having a video of it, they only got photos of it. So the person who probably seen this probably was a little bit older, right? They didn't have the up to date. They had the old version of the phone, right? But again, what they say, a picture speaks 1,000 words. Now, this picture here that you see on your screen there, right? You see the brother being, walked through in the two horses. Again, for those who either know history or have seen the movies depicting, right? One that comes in my mind the most is the one that I think Ken Norton played. Anybody remember that? Mandingo. Remember that scene in Mandingo when, Mandingo was, Master's boy, his fighting boy. And remember, Cicero was the brother that's kind of like Mr. Blows Your Mind. Was out there trying to, tell brothers and sisters what was going on, teaching them how to read and all that good stuff. Cicero was a runner. So, Cicero did some things, and then what happened was they got on horseback. Cicero and them went in there, did some things, you know what I'm saying? And had trying to get the young boys together. And so they kind of dispersed and chased them all. They was on horseback. Cicero outrunning the horse and them gets up into the wooded area. He tells Ken Norton, yeah, get him, yeah. I would play it, but again, the most hated show on the Black Corner Internet. They're gonna sit me to the sideline. They're gonna take me out the game, right? So anyway, I'm just gonna give you the rendition the way I say it. You can visualize it when I'm saying it anyway. So what happens is Cicero running through there, and here comes Ken Norton, master boy, chasing him, right? Tackles him. He said, "What you think you is? Some hound dog? You out here catch me? It's just like the white man catching me yourself. And when they hang, man, you're going to be you. You're going to be, right?" Those who might have seen the movie, and if you ain't never seen it, go check out Mandingo. You'll see that scene. But the point is, that's what that is. Paddy roll. The patrol coming to get us runaway slave. That is the image that you're seeing right there. And to have that at this day and time, it's kind of like, okay, you done had 2 days in a row where people have been massacred, and the last one had, specifically more black folks in it, right? So if you read, it's going to be a story that I'm going to do, and I don't want to give it before I do it. But again, there's something out here that's being read that's talking about certain aspects. And matter of fact, there's a so-called X. I don't know if you could ever be an X, but he said he's an ex-Nazi member, and he says that what the spirit of is about outdoing one another, right? Each one is trying to outdo the other one. So in this case, as being supposedly civil service, being of the badge, again, by them being on horseback, okay, some people say, well, how else was they supposed to put him in the back, right? How are they supposed to do it? They on horseback. And you got radios, right? You got walkie-talkies, right? You already got him apprehended. It's trespassing. If it was a trespassing in let's say if it's in an establishment, call for the car to come pick him up, right? You know what I'm saying? You already got there with a horse, so I mean, what's worse? They already got the horse if he ain't already, shitting every damn way. But anyway, right? So you could have had backup units come and get them, but again, they have a staging system where they go and they take you. But again, why would you want to do that? It's like you know what I'm saying? Here was an opportunity, say opportunist. It was an opportunity for a motherfucker to be able to pull this off, disguising it under the fact that it's all fair and official, and no one would know the wiser. But somebody, again, in this day and age, everybody got a tool, the all-seeing eye, like a LoJack on you, right? And so when they see something they feel that might be worthy of recording or taking pictures of, then what end up happening is it becomes social media. It becomes something that we all can look at and we can make our assessments of what we see. And what we see here is just, again, it's a historical image. It is an image that has the context that triggers certain things. Again, as this show starts up at the beginning, talking about Black Americans descended of slave, American descended of slave. You're prodding and poking at the emotions and the historical aspect to what these people have endured and continue to endure in this land, right? And so some people said that this was disgusting and degrading, right? Disgusting and degrading. And so when you use that kind of word, when you say disgusting and degrading, you're just saying this is nauseating, right? Sickening, fearsome, distasteful, unpalatable, right? You say loathsome, desirable. I don't know how that is. Hateful. Now, when it says desirable, about disgusting, it can be desirable for those who were displaying it, right? Right? It could be, right? Also, it's unlikable, right? Anti-apathetical, antagonistic, repugnant, aversive, repellent, revolting, offensive, right? Obnoxious, displeasing, foul, gross, vulgar, shameless, just pure right out, stinking, right? So again, somebody can play on the gray area that, again, this is my job. And accordingly, in my job, I can do this according to what they said. Now, right? Did you hear that in the report there, right? You heard that said that this was a policy used in the police department. They said this technique is considered the best practice in certain scenarios, right? In certain scenarios. Now, again, the certain scenarios of this technique that needs to be done is that it says that such as crowd control. When you have a wild, let's say you have what they say, if more than 2 or 3 of us gathering together, is called what, fellas? Mob action. So anytime you got 2, 3 of us together, that could be considered a crowd. And so, based on the crowd and to try to control, and based on the fact that they're on horseback, we're going to put the rope on you and hold you and then take you to the nearest staging center. Now, okay. But in this case, this looked like this is just them two and him. This doesn't have nothing to do with a crowd being dispersed and none of that. Wildly, unruly, unconduct, ruly unconduct and all that good stuff. That didn't happen here. And so we have to ask, what was the motive behind the individuals who are making the arrest? Yes, it's within the policies and the rules of protocol but it could have been done in a better way, just for the simple fact that, again, we think you would be conscious, but then you are conscious because you are displaying what your conscience really is showing, right? That's where we're going to have to look at that. And so they say this is best technique for the situation. And the situation that they're saying is they on horseback. How else was they going to be able to do it? But again, common sense would say, why didn't you radio a car, right? Why couldn't a car come in, right? And so just to show you that, we're going to have to go with the PC, which is the politically correct role. You see what the chief said. He said, our officers showed poor judgment in this instance. Because again, if it didn't get recorded, it didn't get a photograph, we wouldn't know it. It would just been what it was. It'd have been, the brother Donald Neely would have been just the only one who would have been telling you the story. You'd have been like, yeah, damn, that's fucked up, dog. Damn, they did that shit to you. But now he's going to be infamous about the time when the brother, again, shows like this, Black Minds News, will talk and report and say, when I go back sometimes to update a situation and tell you about something in the past, because, news is kind of cyclish, right? Has a cycle to it. So the judgment was poor for the simple fact, if you make poor judgment on this, then there's got to be other situations that, again, when we see people being, let's see how you want to say, when they being exonerated for things that the citizenry, society would look at it and say, they don't think they should have been exonerated, but they don't have poor judgment. It does. It's always the extra, we're going to say the extra kick in the head is, oh, I was fearing for my life. That way you can't discern that, right? Think about it. If somebody said they fearing for their life, unless you them, that's the only way you can detect whether they really was or not. You can look at the situation, and if it's somewhere in the gray area of it, you got to give them the benefit of the doubt, because you don't know whether a person's scared about a situation or not. You can't discern that. So that's how they get away with that. But again, according to here, it was the chief saying it wasn't the right and proper way to do that. There was a better way they could have done that, right? They could have did this better, but they just, they did it the way they wanted to do it. And so it's out here now, right? That whole situation is out here now. And so they now wanted to go back, and the chief's name was Vernon Hale, right? And since this situation has happened, according to what they just said, they said that now they're going to change the policy. Wait. It was good enough when you originally did it, and maybe it depends how long this policy been implemented, right? Because it could go back to Patty Road Day. You understand? From the inception of the establishment of police departments in Galveston, Texas, right? So that could have been books. Again, that's something that, as black folks, we got to look at. There's laws on the books that's been there so long that they still law that no one has gone back and either got them, repudiated or expunged, whatever term they use to get rid of that, right? There's a lot of those on the books. And it's under discretion of the police officer when they might want to pull it because it exists. And so here was a situation of a policy that probably been around so long that now, looking at it in 2019 and it being exposed, and again, the power of social media, bringing it to the attention of all of us, now they said, well, we're going to get rid of that. And then based on that, now here it was that Mr. Donald Neely, for the trespassing that he was released bond, free on bond, right? And they now want to apologize for the embarrassment and humiliation that they brought to this brother. Now again, I don't understand why you doing all that if that when you apprehended him, it is justified. There's no need to apologize. If this was part of the protocol, if this is the policy, and this is what it is, what you apologizing for? You understand? Listen to what I'm saying. What you apologizing for? If everything was by the book, the rest is by the book, the way you had him done was by the book. Yes, it didn't look good to society, but this is where it is. Stick to your guns. That's it. That's what it is. right? We're going to change it now, okay? That was something that was old in the book, and we got these brand new motherfuckers out here knowing this shit, and they had the opportunity, and they said, you know, they want to go to the family picnic, you know, they want to get, hey, this is Jim, and John, hey, what was that y'all did that day, that time? You had the nigger with the horse. How did that feel like? Because, I mean, I seen a lot of that in the movies. I ran history. But you guys actually did it in 2009 in the 21st century. How did it feel, Jim, John? Yeah? See, they get to have these kind of stories, these reports when they sit down and talk with their family and stuff. See? So, again, opportunity, you know what I'm saying? Again, like I told the ex-Knox and dealer said that each one is trying to outdo each other. Right? So, now, it won't be long. We're probably going to see somebody going to do something that's going to top this one. You understand? So to apologize for the embarrassment, it's too late for that. What needs to be found out is, was it legitimate of what you claim you arrested her for? Criminal trespassing. Could be a lot of things. A lot of times it could be fictitious. It could just be the biasness of the individual who calling on you. But we didn't get that part. That is the part I am looking forward to. Where did he get arrested for? Well, until that comes out, again, this is here what we just displayed here. Again, the black man being led down the street by horseback riding police in Galveston, Texas. Right? Well, that's the story there. So you know what I want you to do. Again, this is Black MINDZ News, and what we do is we bring the stories as they are related to us. And I want to thank each and every one of you who did click to hear this video. Again, to help participate or help to patronize this channel, you got to do some things like this. Okay, well, once again, I want to thank y'all for participating for Black MINDZ News. Again, when you see each other, universal now, what's good, what's good, sister. Again, remember, we only got each other in this. Again, it seems like, again, we try to make alliances with people. Seems like everything but that, right? And so people have opportunities to try to do things, and we, as one, must unify with each other for the simple fact that, again, people using opportunities. And so, with love, peace, and to the next show, this is Black MINDZ News. Again, I'm your host, Mr. Blows Your Mind. Until the next show, love, peace, and soul.